Jim's dead. Fucking in the ground. Decomposing. Soon he'll be a skeleton. Then he'll be soil. Then he'll just be in a box. Just nothing in a box. All that will remain are the keepsakes in his coffin. Like a hat with 4 stars on it. Some mangas, those book comic things that he reads. And a picture of Jade licking a lollipop. That's all that's going to be left. But there's an heir apparent. One that he didn't name, by the way. An heir apparent that wasn't Gator, or Fragmenko, or Rand, or any of the other faggots that he knighted before he decomposed. That heir apparent, we're going to look at today. Because he's still going and he's a rising star. And believe you me, I've seen a lot of talentless hacks rise in this sphere. And this is the up-and-coming star. You better fucking believe it. Now you'll be clutching your pearls going, my god, we can't let this happen. The reality is that Fragmenko rose. Gator rose. Rand is having some sort of success. So it's not completely outlandish to say that saturated content, who isn't this guy, by the way, isn't this Trico evolution, it's this guy. It ain't outlandish to say that saturated content is the heir apparent. And as you see, and as you will see, this is Jim's legacy. This is the child of Jim. This is what he spawned before he died. This cancer that he convinced himself was in his body actually wasn't. It was in the world. And he birthed it into being. So let's go. Saturated content. As of a day ago, he's still going off, A-Log and Boogie trying to make them donos. Let's go. The heir apparent to Jim. A-Log and Boogie in the current year. Boogie's New Year's stream as he rounds out 2022. Saturated content, got that covered, you better believe it. Let's go.
2022 was a year. It most certainly was a year, Boogie. That is why we are going to react to you recapping your year. Because you had quite a lot of goofs going on.
It certainly was a year, Boogie. You had quite a lot of goofs going on. Saturated content on his high horse. He thinks he's going to make it as the next Jim. Thinks he's going to get his name made off Sully and Boogie's good reputation there. A man who's... This is an old fucking man. Boogie's like nearly 50 now, isn't he? What is there to gain? What is there to fucking gain, saturated content? But he's gonna lay down the fire on Boogie, this little boy who thinks he's Daddy Jim, who thinks that he's the one that can claim the inheritance.
I'm sure today we are going to listen to him discuss his financial issues, his legal battles, and his channel stagnation. He most certainly is going to put on a woe is me type attitude.
Did you hear that in the delivery there? Did you hear that in the delivery? He goes, as he's smacking his lips.
He most certainly is going to put on.
He most certainly is gonna put. He most certainly is gonna put a brave face on. It's like, come on, bro. At least do another retake if you are gonna read from a script.
His legal battles and his channel stagnation. He most certainly is going to put on a woe is me type attitude and sort of take the self-flagellation approach to try and garner sympathy. Let me tell you, Boogie, you've had your chance, you squandered it, and now we're here to celebrate your shortcomings.
Let me tell you, Boogie, you've had your chance, you've squandered it, and I'm here to put you in a box. That's how you should deliver it. And that was a 2 out of 10 on the Godwinsonometer. That was still more impressive than... Let me tell you, Boogie, you've had your chance and you've squandered it, and I'm gonna put you in a box. Come on, bro. Bring some fucking fire. He's trying his best. Saturated content is trying his best. Trying to A-log an old man. Boogie. He's like Father Christmas here.
It's harsh. Yes, we are evil. No, we are not part of that select.
Yeah. Yes, I am evil. Bitch. I'm going to destroy you, bitch. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna drink your blood, Boogie. Like, come on.
Group from Germany in the 1940s. Let's get into it.
I did have to work pretty hard to spend a lot of money to get to the point that these legal troubles were over, but in the end, I ended up getting what is effectively a bit of a slap on the wrist, and it's a really good thing.
I never really explored his whole legal issue with threatening that other YouTuber by shooting a warning shot. But like, dude, that's gun safety 101. You can't be running around acting...
What the fuck does this little kid know about gun safety, and especially gun safety 101? Listen here, son. Listen here, boy. You gotta learn to walk before you learn to run. Holy fucking shit. Let him stand on this high horse as he openly admits he's done no research. As he's done absolutely no research, but lectures you on how to use a gun. And, you know, you might think this is a bit rich coming from an Anglo. I know more about gun safety than saturated content, and that says it all shortly.
...by shooting a warning shot. But like, dude, that's gun safety 101. You can't be running around acting like a cowboy and expect no repercussions. I think that this will be a recurring theme. Boogie is not being wrongly chastised. If anything, we are trying to make him, take up his own mistakes and remedy them. The problem is, he half-heartedly acknowledges these mistakes, and then asks for his fans to pay for his Tesla in his next breath. He has been put into a bubble ever since he got popular on YouTube, and now that the bubble has popped, he doesn't know how to behave.
Now that the bubble has popped, he doesn't know how to behave. Well, I'm going to school you, Boogie. I'm gonna kill you. Like, come on, bro. This is the Heir to Jim. The Heir to Jim saturated content. You better believe that in about 6 months to a year's time, this guy's going to have 100,000 subs. He's going to be king of this sphere. He's going to be bodying KC on the daily. He's going to be making videos on Ethan Ralph and Nick Fuentes and whoever else they fucking dug up. And he's going to be lauded as king of the sector, just like Fragmenko was at one point in time.
I got to go to both Regipalooza, one in Houston, one in Dallas. I got to go to both Southeast game exchanges.
Here's the thing. I know he mentioned that these cons were paid for by the providers of the convention, but I've got to ask, if you're so financially strapped, does going to these events bring any benefit from escaping your financial burden? I'd imagine no.
Well, come on, bro. Like, you've just answered your own question without answering it. Boogie's in a rough place. He doesn't get to socialise with people. He's in like a dungeon of his own making with a master sword behind him and Magic the Gathering cards, and I imagine lots and lots of disused takeaway wrappers just around his feet. The guy is clearly mentally fucked in the head. I think we can conclusively say that Boogie is mentally ill. And what do they prescribe for people who are incredibly mentally ill? Go outdoors, socialise. And this is how Boogie does it. He goes to these fucking conventions.
I'm sure it's nice to meet fans and set up a booth and whatever, but if you can't see a tangible return on this event, then don't bother going.
If it doesn't make you money, don't bother. Come on, man. Come on, saturated content. You're already laying out your stall as the heir to Daddy Jim. And you're already saying if it don't make you money, it don't matter. That's fucked. But you better mark my words. I've seen enough faggots rise in this sector. This is a rising star, a name to watch.
Find some other avenue that is going to bring your wealth up more and make yourself more financially soluble.
Also in 2022, I got a gym membership, all leading up to the idea that I might get to box somebody.
You're never going to be boxing someone, for 2 reasons. One, because of your health. You will not be...
And who is he to say anyone's going to box anyone? Saturated content can barely even string a sentence together without sounding like he's about to pass out. But now he's fucking an expert on boxing. Now he's going to assess Boogie's ability to box. Well, at least he's fucking trying. Saturated content.
To put on a good enough show at the current weight and health you're at. You'd be more of a threat to yourself than anyone you go up against. Second, I think everyone that sees that this is just an attempt for you to try and get back in the spotlight. You're mostly irrelevant and want to get your views and subs back up.
He's mostly irrelevant, right? But saturated content makes video after video on the guy in an attempt to bolster his name and chase that clout. You better believe it.
Who above you in those categories is going to give you this opportunity. Even though I'd love to see you and Wings fight, even if Wings ends up bashing your teeth in.
I've only been going about 3 times a month. I went 3 times in December and 3 times in November, and I'm kind of embarrassed by that.
You aren't embarrassed by that, and that's okay. You don't have to put on this persona like you care about your health and want to make any substantial changes. You told us that yourself. You can enjoy it as a recreation, and you should probably just leave it at that.
Look, listen to Boogie taking lessons from this pimply-ass kid on his high horse there. Bro, saturated content, if you're listening. That face of yours got so many boils and pimples all over it, your tears need a 4-wheel drive to get down your cheeks. For real. Faux fucking real. That skin is so oily on your face there that you could literally fry bacon on it. But he's the one that's going to be schooling Boogie. This little kid who's got a pube on his balls is finally going to lay down the smack on Boogie 2988. This is the heir apparent. Rising stars, that's what we're covering today.
You've shown you have no willpower or desire to make a large enough health change, so don't pretend like you're ever going to.
But the channel continued to take the same beating it's been getting since 2019.
Your channel is largely unsuccessful because you put out the laziest garbage every week. You have no rhythm to your videos.
The laziest garbage every week? What is this saturated content if it's not the laziest garbage every week? What is this, bro? When you grow up, man, I hope you'll gain some self-awareness and perspective and see all of this as just a Game of Thrones, where it's not about schooling someone else on the life experience that you haven't garnered. Son. Boy. But for now, we're going to LARP and pretend, just like Toad McJudas did, that saturated content is out there riding horses with his shirt off, harpooning deer. Like, come on, son. Get a grip, lad.
Discuss interesting topics that a large audience would be intrigued by. I mean, I work a full-time job with extracurriculars, and I still find a way to upload every other day. What is your excuse? When your channel stagnates, quantity can certainly help you with exposure. It probably doesn't help that you burn most of your bridges, and people only really want you for the spectacle of a fallen titan.
The spectacle of a fallen titan? Well, at least Boogie was a titan at one point in time. At least he was a Kino Dogme torchbearer back in 2007. You ain't ever going to have that medal, saturated content. You're always going to be a parasite on the peon of Boogie. For real. You're always going to be a pimply-ass little bitch who can't muster up enough energy to lay down the smack on Boogie 2988 of all people. A man whom a dead sheep could body. But saturated content just simply can't fucking come to the muster. He don't cut that mustard.
You should also consider not censoring your comment sections because it is blatantly obvious when every comment is positive, but you have a 50% like ratio.
I mean, Boogie censors his fucking comment section because they're literally out there posting his address saying, go at him with a gun. Come shoot Boogie on his doorstep. Let's finish what Frank Castle couldn't do. That's what they're doing. That's why he censors his comment section. Until you realise this saturated content, until you yourself, I suppose, are going to be doorstepped by whomever the Zoomer version of Frank Castle's going to be, you won't realise where Boogie's coming from.
Let me put a positive spin on it, okay? Yeah, I lost my ass, but I learned a lot of important lessons, like don't put your money in crypto. It's an unregulated market.
You are the ideal idiot to get scammed into crypto. Why would you put your money into something you have no knowledge about, and at the very least cannot describe how a coin is made, or where it comes from, or where...
How a coin is made, or where it comes from? Okay, saturated content. I want you to describe the Federal Reserve to me, without notes. I want you to tell me how those coins are minted, without notes. I want to tell you exactly where the money is generated, without notes. Here's your chance, saturated content. Because your argument for Boogie investing in crypto is that he didn't do enough research. He didn't know where the coin was made. It's even written here. He doesn't know how a coin is made or where it comes from. Do you, saturated content, you little boy? Do you? A guy who's barely even come out of fucking diapers? No, but he works a full-time job. He's a real man. Just like Toad McJudas was when he was criticising that fat bitch for eating burgers.
Stored, etc. The most basic economic principles were not followed, hence why you were deservedly burned.
The internet at large took it as an opportunity to tear me apart. And this is like the 20th or 30th time I've been publicly shamed, so I'm kind of numb to it.
He said his fans that left nice comments and were supportive of him took a more justified viewpoint. But us chastising him for asking for a handout off of his own dumb mistake.
How is this saturated content in any way a chastisement of Boogie? It sounds like you're barely even awake. It sounds like you barely even have enough energy to open your mouth. But this is a chastisement, and Boogie's been feeling the heat from you. You in the Reddit threads. Even to Boogie, you are a fucking insect, man. Even to Boogie, you are beneath his recognition. You are beneath any sort of even a shout out from Boogie. You are never going to hear the words, "Oh man, that saturated content is really bumming me right now," from Boogie. You're never going to hear that. But mark my words, this guy,
Come on, Boogie.
he's going to be the rising star of this year. These subscribers, they're going to double, triple, quadruple at the very least. And he'll be king of the sector as Jim's heir apparent. Because Jim birthed this cancer into being.
So every day I wake up, I try to be grateful, and
It's amazing that you are alive. And believe it or not,
It's amazing that you are alive, Boogie. You better watch out, bitch. 'Cause I'm coming for you. Come on, saturated content. How do you have the nerve to sit there and LARP as a king when you yourself are no better? In fact, you're worse than Boogie. In another realm, right? You'd have drawn this little fan art for Boogie. You'd have compiled that pixel version of Link on a little frame for Boogie in an attempt to get him to recognize you. But no, you're bringing the fire. You're really going to put him in that box.
don't wish you were dead. Everyone has a purpose, but you are currently consciously objecting to your purpose in life. We're just trying to bring you some wisdom so you can reflect and change.
Saturated content is just trying to bring you some wisdom. What fucking wisdom is there, bro? From you, of all people. This 18-year-old pimply-ass bitch, who's never even left his bedroom, has some pearls of wisdom to impart to Boogie. What pearls of wisdom might they be? Clean your room when your mom nags you the 5th time? Jizz into a rag so it don't stain the bed sheets? What wisdom do you have, saturated content, that Boogie, a 50-year-old man, needs to hear?
But you are probably too far gone. You can be grateful for what you have, but your actions display that you do not care about yourself at all, and that hurts. At the end of the day, you can continue to minnow around in irrelevance, or you can try and...
Minnow around in irrelevance? Bro. Boogie, back in the day, signed a deal with Apple. Boogie has seen millions and millions of dollars fall through his fingers. And even, I guarantee you, even Boogie's version of poverty is still raking in about 20 grand a month. Boogie on the breadline is 20 grand a month, Boogie. Boogie, when he was doing mediumly well, was about 100 grand a month, Boogie. You've got to remember that he spent a fucking shit ton on medical bills, food, Magic the Gathering cards, sunk it all into crypto, fucking flew around the world trying to do travel blogs. The guy has had every single whim of his indulged by money. And you've got to remember as well, he's also gone through a costly divorce. And Boogie is still fucking rich. Boogie is still raking in about 20 grand a month. And he can still draw enough fucking parasites like yourself to make him not a minnow. Make him not continue to minnow around in irrelevance Holy fuck.
I hope you choose the latter. But until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
What a sign-off. What a sign-off. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Peace. Come on, bro. Perfect the openings and the closings of your videos. What about this one? Meeting Amber... Oh, sorry, I thought I was showing the screen. Meeting Amberlynn Reed's girlfriend. Content that Toad used to make. Literally.
Jingle bell, jingle bell. Sing for me, baby.
Maybe.
Baby.
It's the most wonderful...
Also, I just want to clarify. Who gives a fuck about Amberlynn Reed? Who has ever given a fuck about this fat woman eating food? I certainly haven't. And it perplexes me that the kids of today are all about Boogie and Amberlynn Reed.
Time of the year. We are concluding one portion of our lives and preparing for the next. Nothing screams a transitory part of the year like listening to Amberlynn Reed try and sing. I haven't kept up with all of our vlogmas, but I thought I'd buy into the clickbait of Amberlynn actually showing off her girlfriend. We all know that she's going to troll us with that, but hey, what can I say? I'm a sucker. However, according to our analytics, it doesn't appear that many other people are as easily tricked as I.
And I am currently just editing my Vlogmas from yesterday.
Look, it's a fat woman and a cat. It's a fat woman holding a phone with her face on it. She's wearing a stripy Hamburglar shirt. She got a necklace on. She got some hooped earrings. Doesn't look like she's got many teeth left. That's it, isn't it? That's all that is there to be said. But let's continue. Let's see what saturated content is going to deliver.
I edit on my phone. I film with the camera, then I transfer the footage with this doodad.
I can't believe she still edits using her phone.
I can't believe she still edits using her phone. I edit using my phone. And I guarantee you, the content that I've produced over the 10 years I've been making it on a phone has been a lot fucking better than anything you're going to be able to conjure up saturated content. You Zoomer fucking child. Oh my god, I can't believe she still edits on her phone. Well, I tell you what, the commitment to the phone editing is Kino. That's Kino there in that little dongo there. That little dongle. There's more Kino in that than there is in you. Boy.
And maybe this is just my pompous-ass self, but I've been making videos on YouTube since 2010. Not solely on this channel, but since
He's been making... Extra doubt on that one. He's been making videos on YouTube since 2010? So that means he'd have been fucking 8 years old. But he's the real old fag. He's the real old fag. He's been cutting promos since he was in diapers. You better believe it. And you better believe him when he talks and says that with this vocal fry.
like 2012, I've used some sort of editing program, whether it be Sony Vegas or nowadays Adobe Premiere Pro. I mean, I have a design background, so I'm pretty familiar with...
I'm prepping you for this, ladies and gentlemen, because in about 6 to 8 months' time, you're going to see a lot of saturated content, bros. AstroTurfing him as king of the sector, saying he's the oldest old fag. This is the rising star. This is Jim's true heir apparent. And I don't want you to be gaslit. Gaslit. I'm giving you the pre-warning heads up for where this is going. I've seen enough faggots in this sector rise and fall. This guy is rising. This guy is gaming that algorithm, covering the right topics. Eventually, one of his videos are going to take off. And he'll be the new Fagmenko, the new king of the sector. The new heir apparent to Daddy Jim. You better believe it.
this technology. But didn't Amberlynn buy a MacBook a couple years ago to edit on? Whatever happened to that? I mean, she was completely content with average to below average editing, and it reflects in the fact that all of her videos have looked the same for 3 years now. She also mentions her camera and transferring it to her phone to edit. This is beyond idiotic. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't reflect the best in quality to transfer a high-quality camera video to an iPhone editing software. But hey, what do I know?
Yeah, what do you know? What do you know, boy? What do you know about Kino Dogway 2007? What do you know about putting together an entertaining video? Zero. Nothing. Nada. That's what you know. But you're going to pretend like you know it all? Because you've been cutting promos since you were in diapers? Come on. Nothing. Talentless nothing. Sitting there schooling me on how to make content. Like, get a grip.
All of this is from y'all.
Who are you people sending her stuff? Like, honestly, I've never understood people sending their favorite content creators anything other than fan mail. Because if they are popular enough to have a dedicated P.O. box to fan mail, then they most certainly can afford any item you have to send to them. If it is fan-made drawings or art or whatever, then I can understand. But everything she got from this haul is stuff she could go buy herself. Not going to spend a lot of time dissecting what they got each other for Christmas. Feline got Amber a Discovery set of perfumes, Amber got Feline a Monopoly game and a Lego set. Both of these sets of gifts actually seem thoughtful, and I've got nothing else to comment on.
Is he going to A-log the Lego Adidas trainer? Is that where we're at now with these kids in the sector? Is that where we're at? This was fire enough for him to edit and put up. He thought this was gold. This was going to make him a king.
I can see! You want to come here? You want to...
Oh, look, it's a fat woman wearing a Bambi mask. Stop the presses. Let's turn this into a 1,000-page Kiwi Farms thread. Let's open up as many subreddits as we possibly fucking can. Let's become saturated content, bring the fire, and put these two in a box. Is it just me?
This is some serious intruders type of vibes. Those masks are ultimately terrifying, but also this leads into...
These masks are ultimately terrifying? I don't see anything to fear with these masks of Bambi. You know, they're not wearing Leatherface masks. They're not wearing Michael Myers masks. They're not even wearing Squire masks. Or Eyes Wide Shut masks. They're just wearing Bambi masks. But they're ultimately terrifying. This is your brain on Jim, ladies and gentlemen. This is your brain on Jim.
being trolled. Of course, she isn't going to show Feline. Also, Amber's laugh is borderline demonic. At the very least, she sort of sounds like the witch from Snow White. I did you all a favor skipping through that gingerbread house montage. I don't get it. My content
I did you all a favor skipping through that gingerbread house montage. I don't get it. Well, it was two fat women making gingerbread houses because it was Christmas. There's nothing else to get. There's no esoteric message there. There's nothing to A-log. I did you all a favor, yeah, I bet. Maybe you can do us all a favor and not upload. Maybe you can do us all a favor and go back to school and come back as a man. Instead of pretending. LARPing. Boy.
highest quality, but I make videos I essentially just edit out and commentate over the most interesting parts of her videos. I guess the watch time is what is keeping her in business, but each one of her videos could be like 5 minutes long. If she had just shortened down or cut out the unnecessary boring bits.
But these videos aren't for you, no-name autist. These videos are like a blog for her to reflect on, aren't they? Like, they're not for you. Like, sure as shit, she knows that you, there in your mum's house, in that basement there that you dwell within, aren't going to be making the gingerbread houses along with her.
Re-saying what they already told me, which is, we're going to look over your paperwork, you know. This time it said it only is going to take...
People like saturated content, Josh and Jim, you know, the ilk of autists that Jim spawned, they watch this stuff like it's a soap opera and autistically analyze every frame of this fat woman talking, weaving it into autistic tapestries of lore, and I've never understood it. Who gives a fuck? Literally, who gives a flying fuck about this fat woman's comings and goings? I certainly don't. I really don't. I don't even see anything here to pass momentary... Oh, look at that shadow there. That's a shadow, man. Let's A-log the fucking shadow. What's there to talk about?
email said a few weeks, a few months, so we'll see.
I guess the weight loss surgery plan still exists for just a couple weeks more. We'll just have to wait and see if she actually follows through with any of this. She hasn't been able to listen to a doctor's instructions since she's been on YouTube, and I'm not quite sure that she's going to change anytime soon. But in conclusion, that wraps up Amber's Vlogmas for me.
What was the argument presented, saturated content? In conclusion, that wraps it up? What the fuck was the argument? What was the where was the angle on that? What was that? What the fuck was that, bro? Bring a line of attack. Formulate some thoughts before you go live. The heir apparent, ladies and gentlemen. It makes me fucking sick. Genuinely makes me ill. That eventually we're going to have these kids lording over us. Saying that they're the real old fags. Saying that they really bring the fire and the content. Because they're doing it in the footsteps of Daddy Jim there. That's what's going to happen. Saturated content is merely one of them. Neo Jesus. That Papadopoulos guy. The S'mores 941 guy who streams on Twitch. The Armored Toast guy. You know what I mean? These faggots that think because Jim's dead now, they've all crawled out of the woodwork and they're all ready to wear his face. Take on his content. Be the real Jim. No way Jim wouldn't. Makes me sick. Makes me